do this in 2 parts. Welcome back to second part. We were just talking about the reunion, so I'm gonna go ahead and hop right into it. Again, this is Tu Prima Favorita, Bob's the Builder. Welcome to part 2 of my final thoughts on Love is Blind season 6, episode 12 and 13, specifically episode 13. Where I left off when my camera cut off, I was talking about Johnny and Amy. I still feel like that they were definitely robbed. I don't feel like there was enough given to them. I appreciate the highlight reel, but I don't think that there was enough intention behind pushing them to audience for the audience to really invest in them. So I feel like that they were robbed in that, right? And I'm going to forever stand strong on that thought. They were robbed. I feel like for these shows, like, it's important for them to realize that, yeah, people love the drama. People tune in for the drama. That's where a lot of your views are going to come from. But it's also okay to show the positive as well. Like, it's also okay to show the positive. It doesn't always have to be just, ooh, drama. Like, show the positive. Sarah Ann can go to Hades, and her and Jeremy deserve each other. Mr. I don't lie on purpose, or whatever he said. I also find it funny and not surprising that Chelsea outed them, like, y'all are broken up every weekend or whatever. It's like, look at what y'all's relationship was founded on. He's a liar. I don't even know what to say about you. So yeah, y'all deserve each other. And then Miss No BS Laura, or Laura, I believe it's Laura. I still like her, and I know that they're happy that she was not there in person. The girl would have read them for filth, and they would have been glued. They would have been melted to them seats, because what comes out of her mouth is just hot fire. And I just like her. I like her because she be standing on business. I hate that Jeremy still took no accountability for lying to Laura. It's like, you straight up lied. Like, you straight up lied to her about taking the girl home when you could have just told the truth, especially because you had already shared your location. And then he just skirted around the question and then just proceeded to say, I didn't lie on purpose, or I didn't intentionally lie. You lied. Anyway, next. Before I go to the next thing, that even if they didn't do the do, I feel like they definitely kissed each other. Like, I just do. I'm like, y'all done lied so much at this point, like, you probably slept with her, but I don't know. But I do think that they kissed or were intimate to some extent or something. Like, I just don't believe it. And I still don't understand, like, in what world do you think as a fianced man or woman that it's okay for you to go hang out with this person, especially somebody that you've had an emotional connection to up until 6 a.m., 6 a.m. in the morning, think that's okay because y'all were just talking. His own mama told him. He's not that stupid. The conversation that Sarah Ann and Laura had at the lake was crazy, and I would assume that came after Laura broke it off with Jeremy, because it really did seem like a handoff conversation. It seemed like Sarah Ann was seeking advice, or Laura was giving her advice on, well, I'm done with him, so I'm passing him off to you, and this is the advice that I give you. Like, that was crazy. And Laura, I do believe her. Like, she didn't care at that point. It was just like, all right, girl, if you gonna mess with him here, let me just tell you, he's not the same person that I met in the pods. And even then, like, I don't know. I like, Sarah Ann is just, that's an interesting character. Girl, go heal. Like, all y'all, everybody, go heal, please. The crazy part to me about what Sarah Ann was saying, though, was like, she still didn't feel like she was wrong for sending the message. She's a whole bird. She's a whole bird. But then for her to be like, yeah, I figured like he would show you, and you would just be like, well, it doesn't matter because I got him, and da da da. I was like, girl, the fact that you think like that, and that's what you expected her to think, like, well, it doesn't matter because I still got the man. You're a bird for that. You are a whole bird, and I need you to go find some dignity about yourself. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, there's no way that a man could show me, like, this is what this woman sent to me, and I'm gonna be like, well, it don't matter because I got him anyway. It's like, okay, cool, delete it and don't respond. Like, the fact that you even showed me is messy. I appreciate you for telling me that this person reached out to you, but for you to show me and then you're gonna go back and respond to her, or you're gonna go back and hang out with her, like, that is disrespectful. That's crazy. It's one thing to show me like, babe, look, yeah, let's delete it. I'm a blocker. I'm not going to talk to her or whatever the case may be. But to be like, hey, look, this is what she showed me. Oh, it's okay because I got you anyway. But then you turn around and go hang out with her. I was like, Sarah Ann, you a bird. Do you see how crazy that all sounds when you play it out like that? You're a bird. And the fact that she unfollowed all the girls but still follows their man is also bird behavior. And that's weird to me. So she still follows all the guys but unfollow all the girls. It's looking real bird box over there. But I will say, like, yeah, you deserve to get iced out of the group chat for what you did because nobody messes with you like that, mamita. And again, like, I hate throwing around this whole girls girl rhetoric, but it's like, you're not a girl's girl. And girls who are girls tend to not want to be around girls who are not girls because you're gonna be the common denominator of the group and the one who screws everybody over. So you can go and you can get iced out. I do like how Vanessa rose Sarah Ann just a little bit, like clarifying Laura's point and then also getting on Sarah Ann about the TikTok she made, about the entertainment and the way that came off and how that could be seen by the audience. Like, again, like I said, Sarah Ann is a bird. Like, she's giving straight up bird behavior, and I hate that for everybody that's involved except Jeremy because he deserves a bird. So I say good job with that. Good job, Vanessa, Chrissy Teigen, Lachey. Good job. Jeremy could have been grilled a bit more, and for Laura to have had to bring up the bean dip conversation also. I don't think it needed to be brought up to be addressed, but I also do think that because it was such a big deal at the time that it was brought up, it was good that it was brought up. But the fact that she had to be the one to bring it up, it's like, okay, but it's cool. She took accountability, but it's like, y'all just gonna let that slide. It's fine, I guess. And can I say, I'm not attracted to Jimmy, but I will say the facial hair that he was rocking at the reunion, I was like, that looks good on him. He looks like a man. Like, I'm like, all right, Jimmy, you've changed over this year. Like, you look like you about something. Like, I really like that for him. I think he looks less funny looking and more like lumberjack. So I'm like, all right, Jimmy, go ahead, get it. Yeah. Trevor didn't need to be there, and that could have been a Zoom call, but if they made him zoom in, he probably wouldn't have shown up. He said a bunch of nothing, and he's obviously guilty AF, so there's that. I hated him continuing to say that, well, I'm toxic and me and her were toxic and da-da-da. Now, granted, if you know me or you watched my last video, I am not a Chelsea fan. But the fact that he is trying to say, well, if I would have got with Chelsea, if she would have chose me or whatever the case may be, I would have done this. I would have done this right with her or whatever. And I'm like, no, you wouldn't have. Because if all this would have came out, as much as I'm not a Chelsea fan, she did not deserve that. So I'm like, I'm glad that it panned out the way that it did, because imagine if she wouldn't have chosen Jiminy Cricket and she would have went with Trevor, Mr. Toxic, right? And then all of this would have came out. Do you know how broken that would have been? Do you know how hard that would have? We all would have had to ride for Chelsea. Like, we would have had to ride at dawn for Chelsea on Trevor's head. We would have all had to go to war for this toxic, emotionally manipulative woman if he would have played her like that. We would have had to go find Trevor, y'all. Trevor would have had to come up missing. That's crazy. He really was trying to play in this girl's face. That's crazy. I will say that she dodged a bullet, and Trevor is the reason why some men continue to just show why they deserve less. And then not Vanessa, Chrissy Teigen, Lachey introducing Clay and AD, saying finally the couple we were all rooting for. Who was rooting for them, sis? Because we were not. We were never rooting for them. We were not rooting for AD and Clay. You might have been the only one rooting for them. I don't know why, but we were not rooting for them. I cannot relate to that. I would say you, Vanessa, Chrissy Teigen, Lachey, and AD were the only ones who were rooting for AD and Clay. And her mama. AD's mama. I do hope that Clay is doing the work that he said he's doing. I do hope that he's going to see the lady and that he's going to therapy and really, you know, bettering himself. I really hope that he's doing all of that. But him like calling AD the love of his life, she really is the love of my life, and talking about how much like she rides for him and all of that. I still hate it. I still hate it. It doesn't sit well with me, and it sounds like fluff, and it could be true. Like I said, he could have love for her or like care for her, but it's like you weren't ready to show up and be the man that she deserves and that she needed you to be. And honestly, I think something might definitely still be going on with them asking AD, like, would you date Clay again? And she's like, next question. All right, girl. Okay. Sure. But I also agree with people who said like that Clay got ate up by the internets, so he had to come back stronger on some apology type stuff. I just hope it was genuine. I hope it wasn't because the internet was coming at his neck, coming at his throat, his garganta, and he felt like he needed to go on here and shed a little tear or whatever the case may be to garner sympathy so people will stop eating him up. Because I'm like, you deserved to have gotten eaten up for the way that you presented yourself. I do love that he brought up being a man, being a husband, navigating that, Brett being an example of that. But I think it was also important what Brett said too. He didn't have, you know, positive examples that showed him how. He made that decision within himself. This is what I want for myself. This is how I want to show up. This is the type of man that I want to be. So I'm going to take it upon myself to make sure that I'm like that. And I think that it's important, not only for Clay, but for men in general, to like hear things like that. It's not about like, this is where it came from, or even like Clay's daddy, I didn't have a positive example, so that's why it turned out this way. You have 100% choice on how you turn out in this world, how you decide to maneuver and to navigate into this world, and how you put yourself out there. So when you start caring enough, when you decide the type of man or the type of person that you want to be, that's who you are going to lead with. That is what you are going to lead with. That's what's going to shape you into that husband, into that father, into that boyfriend, into that person, into that leader that you say that you really want to be. Jessica Kardashian and Jimmy's little conversation or whatever was just more fluff for the show. I feel like that was unnecessary. What they should have asked, they should have asked Chelsea what was her intention with letting the guys in the pods know that she looked like Megan Fox. Which, like I said, still turn to the side, squint a little bit, I still see it. I can see why people would have told her that. But on a show where your looks are not supposed to be the forefront, you shouldn't even be bringing them up in the pods. What is it that made you feel like it was okay to tell people, well, if I had to say who I resembled, or a lot of people tell me that I resembled, it's Megan Fox. Like, what was your purpose of doing that on somewhere where looks didn't matter, knowing that they don't have anything else to go off of as far as in regards to how you look and who you are, right? It's like, I only hear your voice in the pods, and then you give me this image of Megan Fox, who's, you know, gorgeous woman, by the way. A lot of teenage boys' dream when we were coming up. For you to say that, it's like, what was your purpose of that? And it's like, your purpose was to try to get the upper hand. And I wish they would have not dug into her for that, but I wish they would have brought it up. It was a huge thing, and they didn't even touch on it. So I was like, y'all are just fluffing on here. I would say the audience questions were very PG. I was like, where were the real questions that people really wanted to know? I do appreciate that they brought some of the mess to the forefront and made people like Trevor and Sarah Ann and Jeremy kind of held their feet to the fire to some extent. But I'm just like, these questions weren't hitting on anything, honestly. And then why did you bring the older seasons castmates just so they can read off of cue cards some questions from the audiences? They could have did that on Zoom. You wasted these people time. I couldn't stand that. I was like, y'all are wasting these people time having them here talking about stuff that we really don't care about. And I really hope that they got compensated for being there. I really like that Chelsea kind of touched on like her insecurities and addressing that. I do like that her and Jess were able to walk away from this as friends. So Megan Fox and Jessica Kardashian get to walk off into the sunset as friends. I do like that, and I hope that that is a genuine friendship. And I love that like Jess's daughter calls Chelsea aunt. Like I love that for them. I think that's a good thing for them. We love friendships. We love a good genuine girl friendship. I got really tired of hearing about Jimmy and his friend's secret. I'm like, stop bringing it up. Like, y'all just keep bringing it up, bringing it to light. I'm like, you did it. You told you know, your wife about it. Granted, you told her that out of confidence, you told her that in secrecy, and she brought it to the show. But then I'm also like, if you know that that's what you and that girl's past were, why would you bring her onto the show? If you have all these other friends, he admitted he has like guy friends too. It's like, bring them on the show. Don't bring the person that you used to sleep with on national television, especially after you've told that secret. Even if you told it to your wife and asked her not to share it on camera, you still don't know this girl. You still didn't know Chelsea like that. She's still a complete stranger, or not completely, but she's still a stranger at that point. So it's like, you either should have just waited till y'all got further down the line and told her, or you should have just not brought the girl that you are friends with, that you used to sleep with, on the show, thinking that there was no way that that was going to come out if you shared that. I do think that Chelsea was wrong for outing that, though. I don't think she did it on purpose. I think she did it out of just not being emotionally aware and just being like, well, I'm mad right now. I'm going to say whatever comes to my mind, and it's not my fault because I was upset. So I will say with Chelsea, like, I do understand her comment about like getting emotional, forgetting that the cameras were there, that emotions can't be controlled. And so her saying it because it was something that was affecting her, like, I get that. But at the same time, it's like, that's why I say, like, she wasn't ready. She wasn't emotionally mature or emotionally aware. Because when you get into, you know, a marriage, when you get into this type of, when you get into that serious of a relationship with someone, you have to care about the other person, in that sense of, if this is something that hurts you, or this is a boundary that you have, as small as I might think it is, it's a big deal to you and it means a lot to you. But then on the other hand, it's like, all right, Jiminy Cricket, you protecting this other lady's feelings, but you disregarding the person that you're married feeling. So it's a little sticky situation. And since we're not there, we're not in a relationship, we're not there when they have the fights or have those moments, we don't really know to what extent what is what, right? But I will say, if that's a boundary for him, then he has every ground to feel the way that he feels about, like, no, I'm tired of going back and forth with you on this. The OG couples or older couples or whatever you want to call them finally asked a question where Brittany and Kenneth could finally speak. I mean, we are almost done with the reunion and they finally speak the last 5 minutes. But it was still a bunch of fluff. Like, I understand Kenneth being a principal. I work with teachers. I work in schools. We partner with schools, all of this, right? I understand that once he got his phone back, he's like on his phone and all of that. I also understand that production cuts things in a certain way to where it hypes up the drama, it hypes up the things that people are going to talk about. But at the same time, I'm like, where was the question about the honeymoon stage, right? When they were on their honeymoon, on the vacation or whatever, he zoned out then. He zoned out then and then made her feel like, oh, it's because I don't want to smother you with my affection, because I'm always told that I'm super affectionate, and showed the girl no affection. So I'm like, y'all can sit up here and make excuses for the cell phones and all of this stuff or whatever, and how he was all day in it, because honey, that phone would have been across the street, broken on the sidewalk, because I would have threw it out the window. But I'm like, nobody asked the real question of, okay, I get that when y'all were in the apartments, but what about when y'all were on y'all's honeymoon and you still weren't showing her any affection? Like, she was trying to be there with you and you were just cold to her. So again, I'm like, where are the real questions? And y'all want to make all of these jokes about, ooh, dolphins or whatever. All right, dolphin hunter, where's the affection for this woman? You don't like her. And then for them to be all like, we're buddies, we're best friends, we talk every day now, like, that's great, but it's giving GBF. But I digress. Yeah, I'm just like, where are the real questions? That was still not a real question. And I didn't even recognize, like, some other people said this too, but I was like, yeah, I didn't even recognize who Brittany was. I was like, who is that? And I'm like, oh, okay, Kenneth and Brittany. So that was just weird. My final thoughts over this overall season: hang it up, wrap it up. Love is not blind. This experiment does not work. You can't take 9 couples out of the hundreds that y'all have had on the show, or however many that y'all have had on the show, and say that this is how we know that it's successful. No, just at this rate, just admit that it's for a TV drama, views and money. Admit that. Just admit that. They say that Jessica Kardashian is an industry plant or whatever. I don't put it past her. I don't know. She does have the IG face. So there's that. I don't know. Don't really care. Get your 15 minutes of fame, sis. New things have come out. They're saying like AD is not as naive or innocent as she plays to be. She's playing the system. And if that's the case, cool. And I'm glad that she wasn't as dumb that she made herself out to be. So if she is playing the system, kudos to you, girl. Get the bag. Live off your 15 minutes of fame. If not, please go to therapy. Do better. Value yourself. Come back strong next time and stop carrying these men in these relationships. This reunion was super long for no reason. It didn't need to be that long. This could have been 30 minutes. Half of these people could have zoomed in and we would have been fine. I hope that the older couples that showed up for this, came out their house, got on these planes to be there, were well compensated for their time, because it was a waste of their time. Also rumored that AD may still be dating Clay after all this. No words. I just hope that she's not as naive as they think she is, or as she has shown to be. The fact that she still gave Clark Kent the time of day after all of that, I have no words. I have no words. I have no words. Because why? What was the point? He played in your face and then blamed you when the other girl left. He was semi-psycho. We can't save you. We don't have anything for you. Yeah. And I do hope that this was long ago, like maybe right after the show filmed, that she went out with Matthew or whatever. So then it's like, okay, it was at least like during your hurt period, I guess, and not like super recently. But it was obvious that Clay was uncomfortable, which I found funny, but also it's like, if y'all aren't dating, why is he so uncomfortable with you talking about dating another person? So I don't know. It's a whole lot of mess. It's a whole lot of mess. There's a whole lot of stories that are going around after all of this is ending and things are coming into light and people are saying stuff and taking things out of context and bringing things into context. I don't know. I'm just reviewing what I watched. I'm not delving into the rest of these people's lives because I don't really care that much, honestly. My final and last overall thought, hang it up. I said this before, I'm gonna say it again. Love is not blind. Love very much so has eyes. This is not a successful experiment. Nick and Vanessa Chrissy Teigen Lachey did not meet this way, so I don't understand why they continue to believe so much in this experiment. And just hang it up. It don't work. But anyway, those are all the thoughts that I have. Thank you so much. Gracias a todos a mis primos for joining me today. Again, please like, comment, because I would love to hear what you think about any of the things I said, whether you agree, disagree, if you watched the show, if you didn't watch the show, if you're planning to watch the show, if you're never gonna watch the show. Let me know. Like, subscribe, share with tus amigos y tus primos, and I will see you next time in the Cousins Corner. Bye.